with the opening of businesses and the increase in finance inquiries, which we're all seeing, can you identify the factors that a financier considers when they decide if they'll fund different types of equipment finance?
Critically is one of the major factors is whether there's property security in place, in which case funders tend to be not quite as particular about what they fund. Where there's no security and it's you're lending against the asset, then fundamentally you have a number of factors that some funders, not all funders, will look at in the process of determining whether a particular asset is appropriate. I mean, obviously you want an asset, you want to lend against assets that are readily saleable, so it's really important that when you need to hit the market with a distressed asset, that it can be sold and sold reasonably quickly. And they don't have significant costs in sort of removing or deinstalling those assets and taking them to another place of sale, whether it be a dealer or an auctioneer's yard. Those costs can be quite significant. And I think finally, in some cases, the funder actually takes on some make good issues with certain types of asset classes. So it's also making sure that when loans are being made against equipment, that you're not buying into sort of make good issues that might occur at the back end when you need to recover those assets. One area that's quite tricky for the major banks is on the sale and leaseback area. So one of the things that we work quite closely with ScotPac on, for example, is on sale and leaseback transactions, which are a great way to sort of raise cash from the existing balance sheet. And it's something that we see increasingly now, as a lot of businesses sitting there with equity on the balance sheet in that area. As you've no doubt read about and seen in various newspaper articles, we have seen this a significant supply chain issue with new equipment coming to Australia and globally over the last 18 months, and what that's generated is very high used equipment prices. So we are seeing some funders now requiring a deposit of 20 to 30% on the purchase even of new equipment because prices have gone up substantially, or alternatively on used equipment. And quite recently at an auction, we had a couple of the major banks refuse leasing arrangements with customers that had master lease agreements where they believed that they'd paid too much for the assets, even though they were at auction. So, which I would have thought, the worst case would have been a good indication of market value, but in 1 or 2 years' time, it could be that those supply chain issues are resolved and therefore used equipment prices return to normal. We did see that pre the GFC and post the GFC, similar situation where prices fell quite hard when the GFC hit, and I think people have got a reasonably good memory, funders have got a really good memory of what happened there.